Thanks for staying with us. I'm John Case. This is What Matters Most. You can always get in touch with me on Twitter at St. John Case. That's St. John, my city. Case, my last name. If you're watching right now, over the next couple of minutes, you can tweet in which arm or leg you'd like Trinda to break at the end of the segment when she shows off some of her skills. And Trinda is here live in the studio with us.
Hi, thank you for having me.
What are you hoping they pick?
Oh man, I don't know. I might be going after that right arm.
I write with my right arm.
Although I kind of like the neck,
I'd have to take notes
too.
with my left arm for the rest of the show? That's not fair. That's not fair. So you teach women's self-defense. You've been training martial arts for decades. You also teach other sorts of martial arts outside of women's self-defense. So you're something of an expert on the subject. What made you want to teach a course like this? Was this something you were asked to do, or was it a need you noticed in the community through your work?
You know what? I was actually asked about it originally. It happened at work. A sergeant approached me. He was like, I have a female that's kind of interested in this.
Sure.
Would you be willing to do a private with her or something? So I was like, yeah, not an issue. Anyway, I get a call from her, and she asked, oh, can you do a seminar for approximately 100 women for my company?
Yeah, that's not a big deal.
Not a big deal. And I'm thinking, oh boy, I don't know. And what really pushed me was actually my husband.
Right.
He was like, you know what, I think you should do it. And I'm like, okay, well, you're helping me out with this. So anyway, we developed a little seminar. It went better than I expected. And then we got more requests. Oh, can you do a course or something like that? And I noticed there wasn't really many courses in the city of St. John.
Sure.
So I was like, you know what, let's do it. So we started a course back in the beginning of this year in January with another female coach that I train with at Victory Jiu-Jitsu as well, too.
Okay. How is it structured? You know, does somebody show up, one session, a couple of hours, then boom, they're out the door? Or is this an ongoing thing?
I prefer to do it an ongoing thing because I think you get more out of it the more you do. Instead of like a 1 hour seminar, I find you get way more if you train and practice it more. So what I do is I started 2 weeks ago. We have a 12-week program every Sunday, and we go once a week every Sunday. And how I structure the class is we do a warm-up, and I also do a bit of like a fitness program, either like a circuit training or a Tabata workout, just to get a really good workout, just to get the blood running. And then afterwards, I'll start showing the techniques. So some days I'll have techniques standing up, sometimes I'll have like techniques down on the ground and stuff like that. And I'll get the ladies to do it a few times. And then afterwards, we can either start rolling or sparring, or we just drill those same moves into like a sequence.
Sure. So people aren't expecting to come out of this course, you know, able to step into the octagon and beat Ronda Rousey. But...
No. And you know what's great about this course is like, all the women that actually have applied, the majority of them, they're not MMA fighters. I do have a few that are interested in MMA, but the majority of them are ladies that just want an excuse to get in shape, want to learn a few moves just in case they're confronted with a situation like that. I have a few teachers that are in the course as well, too, that kind of want to protect themselves against out-of-control children or anything like that as well, too. So we got all types of women from different backgrounds that are involved in this class.
So is this about, I mean, obviously you're not trying to turn these people into killing machines, but this is sort of like a confidence booster.
Yes.
I had read years ago, and I was prepping for the show, there was this article about this rash in the United States of these sort of like one evening women's self-defense courses that were popping up, and the author, who was, I believe, a law enforcement professional, said, you know, in a lot of cases these do more harm than good because, you know, women come out of this course thinking that they can take the world on, and then they just end up putting themselves into dangerous situations. But yours is sort of the opposite approach to that.
Yeah, well, the way I look at it is, I'm 5'1", I'm 125 pounds. I'm definitely can be considered one of the smallest police officers in the city right now. And the techniques I'm teaching, it's from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And the whole idea of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is it's a small man's game. You don't use any strength whatsoever. It is 100% technique. So if you apply the techniques, you're not using any strength whatsoever. It's all about doing the momentum, the technique, and then that's how you do it. A lot of it is based on ground grappling, ground fighting, but there's also a bit of stand-up as well too. But the majority of the ground work, there's no strength whatsoever. And what you're learning is you're learning arm bars, you're learning different types of chokes, but also I'm also teaching them how to escape, just to escape from the situation as well too. So obviously women are a bit weaker than men. Like, you know, we're smaller and stuff like that. But you know what the cool thing about this course is to show that, you know what, we got amazing bodies. There's so much that we can do with it. And you know what? I want to teach as women that, you know what? It's all right to have that confidence. And you know what? There's so much more that you can actually do.
As a feminist, I'm offended by your comments.
Yeah. It's what once I heard a quote that in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it teaches men that they're not strong as they really are, but it teaches females that they are stronger than they actually think. So.
Right. So how many women typically take this class? I mean, do you have space for more, or are you...
Yeah, I still have space for more. Right now I have about 10, but sometimes it ranges from 10 to up to 15 ladies.
Right.
I still get emails quite a bit from other females that are quite interested in the course as well too. So.
Okay.
And I'm always accepting more females. So.
Right. And where do you teach at?
I teach at Victory Jiu-Jitsu,
Okay.
which is right inside KV Golden Gloves Boxing Club, right in Quispam Sis.
Okay.
It's right behind the McEsso.
Right. So it's a 12-week course, you said.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of 12 weeks, if a woman wants to continue along with the training,
Mm-hmm.
what sort of options does she have at that point?
Well, there's a couple options. I'm probably going to start something up again in January in the new year.
Right.
So this is probably going to be something that's even regular. But
Okay.
we also have some co-ed classes going on, which is actually taught by my husband. He's also a police officer as well, too. And even though there's a lot of males, we do have a lot of female athletes that train out of this gym as well too. We have a female correctional officer as well too that trains there as well too. So you know what? Even if they don't feel comfortable training with the guys, there's always a certain amount of females at the class that they can always partner up with me. They can always partner up
Sure.
with the other females as well too. So.
Right. And you said you started this at the beginning of the year, so you would have graduated at least one or two or three groups of people.
Yes, I have. I only graduate one course so far, and it was an absolute success. And then we decided to take a little breather for the summer, and then this is my second attempt that I'm doing right now to get some more ladies.
So with the recent explosion of killer clown sightings around the world, have you added any moves? You know, like you twist their rubber nose, or you pull on their goofy hair.
Oh, I've got a few things for them. I haven't run onto them in the job yet, but I've got a few ideas for them. I'm more aiming towards the neck, and you know, their arms are pretty good too. But I got to develop a new move for that nose, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned you were quite small, but you are terrifying.
I try.
You seem like you enjoy this. My producer has told me that this would be a good opportunity for us to move to the mat if we wanted to.
Of course.
You still down for that?
I'm definitely down for it.
All right.
Okay.
And I know you have to work after this, so I'll try not to exhaust you.
It's all right.
Well, I take out my earpiece here.
Okay.
Yep. Just gotta take my blazer off.
That's all right. Actually, I'm gonna take my shoes off.
All right. You don't want to scuff those up?
I mean business here right now, so. Okay, so I'll get you on the ground. Maybe I'll first get you started off, like just on your knees, just like that.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go right behind you here.
All right.
So what I'm gonna learn here, this is what we do based on our police use of force curriculum as well too. So
Okay.
police officers are being taught across Canada in this move. I call it the rear naked choke, but there's a lot of moves. There's a lot of names for this type of move.
Notice that I'm still almost taller than you?
I know, isn't that terrible? So anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this arm.
Right.
And I'm gonna slide it here. The
Okay.
whole point is I kind of want to choke you with my forearm here, okay?
Right.
And I want this
Kind of
straight.
want to, or you're going to.
I'm going to,
Okay.
whether you have a choice or not. So I'm gonna grab my own bicep here.
Right.
And then I'm gonna shoot this right behind your head.
All right.
Now, the whole idea is I like to keep a fist behind here because the reason why is I don't want, like, say if you want to try to grab my fingers, and my fingers are just kind of right behind your head, you can grab them. So all I'm gonna do lightly is start to choke you and squeeze. There you go. So, like I said, that's a move that's trained.
Normally I'm not one for quitting, but I do have to do a segment after this. So.
I see a little
Yeah.
crying tears.
Yeah.
So the next one I'm gonna learn is another choke, actually. So I'm gonna get you just to face me, but you're gonna be on, just like sit back on your knees there.
On my
Just
foot. Okay.
So, okay, don't mind me here. We're gonna get a little close here.
All right. Normally I have to pay for this.
So the whole idea with this is position. If you end up on the ground as a female, you want this position. I don't want you mounting me on top or anything like this. So
This is what would be called like a full guard.
Yeah. Okay, you know a little bit what's going on. So yeah, this is what we call a full guard. So one thing I'm going to demonstrate, there's so many things you can do from here. This is a neutral position, especially as a female here. Now, one thing I want to do from here is, you don't want to be on the ground, you want to stand up and run away. So I'm going to do an escape here too. So one thing that you can do is, like, as I'm tripping out, and then here I am. So I like to post here, and then that way if he tries to come at me, I have this weight to not like push him back and stuff. And then that way I get back up, and then I take off. I don't want to be on the ground.
Sure.
Now, if he's very persistent,
often I am.
There's a couple chokes here. So I got both his wrists here. I'm going to squeeze out a little bit. Now, I'm going to take this away. I'm literally going to lift this up here, lift my hips. And I also have that angle in this arm right here. Now, I'm gonna grab my own shin, and this is the key, is the angle, because I kind of almost want to choke him out with his own shoulder here.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna lift this up.
Very little I can do here unless you stickler.
There we go. And then I'm just gonna squeeze.
There we go. What else you got for me? Or are we done at this point?
I could probably go for a little arm bar here. I could. It's from the same position here. So, from here, I love this one right here, especially when I'm like grappling with the guys and stuff.
Sure.
So I'm literally gonna cut the angle. I'm gonna lift this up here, and then I'm gonna lift the hips, squeeze the knees,
Right.
and then go for breaking the arm.
Perfect. See, the right arm. She did go for my right arm.
Exactly, so.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you very much for that.
No problem, thank you for having me.
And we're going to go to break at this point. When we come back, we're going to have Katie Bell. Katie is a mobile veterinarian. I'm going to get her to check me over just before we start to make sure that Trinda hasn't damaged anything, vital. But aside from that, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And you have a good shift.
Thank you.
All right, stay with us.